What's up, guys? That's Ray. Today is the 27th of November, 2016. We're in the Sagittarius season, obviously. So I'm going to get ranty now. So I'm not even going to get into my theories and the astrological influences of why everybody is, going hermaphrodite kind of status. So we all know that astrology is an ancient science. Obviously, there's some modern, translations or interpretations. But it was initially an ancient system or an observational tool, more or less. Therefore, we do use a lot of older contexts and terms, per se, when describing all of it. So it says, equalizing astrology. Astrology has a history of being written in a very binary, way. The signs and planets have long been identified with a gender, yes. And the qualities in those genders described are often written in very patriarchal viewpoints. Oh, see, I haven't even read this thoroughly out loud before. Now, I had a feeling it was kind of by one of those types of people, but now I know for sure. For example, powerful, positive, independent for Mars, and then for Venus, dependent, receptive, and gentle. Yes, that's how they translate. Says, does this sound like a familiar dynamic? You can change the way you talk about astrology. Eliminate gender when talking about signs and archetypes. Instead of saying male Scorpios are blank and female Scorpios are blank, just say Scorpios are. But there's a huge difference between male and female psychoanalytic kind of dynamics and behavior. Just say Scorpios are blank, then any Scorpio can relate. Getting angry. Eliminate gender and traditional ideals when discussing relationships. When referring to someone as a sexual or romantic relationship, use partner or lover or another non-gender word. It's also good to keep in mind that many people are not interested in marriage, kids, monogamy, or even being in any kind of sexual or romantic relationship at all. Instead of speaking out about signs and planets in terms of male and female polarity, open your mind and think of new words to describe the archetypes, because astrology is not confusing enough already. Let everybody start making up their own words. People are encouraging this at a fucking astrology convention, where people, I would hope, a lot of them that do attend are professionals or semi-professionals, or people who are really dedicated to becoming professional. What are you actually trying to say about these entities? Oh my god, but the reason why there's the gender identity with it is because they're all supposed to be collected in different groups. There's the elemental factor, there's the quality, there's which is like mutable, cardinal, or whatever. And then there's, obviously, the gender thing. It's also good to remember that even within these polarities, there's a space around and between them with qualities. Polarities are a start of any idea and can describe things in easy... Okay, no. They're... Wow. I'm gonna have to do a polarity video. That's different than my older video, because I was very difficult to understand in some of my videos before. I've obviously gotten better at articulating myself, so I'm going to have to talk about that again. There's a beautiful rainbow, the colors of who we are, and as astrologers we cannot fully serve our clients to the best of our abilities without embracing each and every shade. If you have any serious questions or comments, please contact NeoStarlight at neostarlight@gmail.com. Thanks for reading. So, first off, just like there's male and female parts when you're looking at like plumbing connectors or, hardware, and it's not supposed to be that the male part is more important than the female part. It's the way that they join together that's important, and they're just labeled like that so people understand how to differentiate between, do I need a male part for this, setup, or am I missing a female part? Do I need to replace that? Okay? There are different definitions for words. that is allowed in the English language, okay? So let's kind of go over what are the masculine and feminine signs. And the masculine ones are supposed to be the initiators, the assertive types, and essentially anything fire and air. So anything that can ignite or start something up. So fire is intuitives, and then air are the mental people. So, and I'm not saying mental like, you know, like disorders. I'm talking about like they use their minds mostly. So they brainstorm, the air sign people do. And then the fire people just have instinctive great ideas. And then for the receptive or the female signs, they are the ones that absorb it. They're more receptive, reactive, hence why they're more sensitive to their environment, which is another kind of quote-unquote female thing. And those are all of the earth signs and the water signs, okay? You have to think about it in the receptive and the initiating kind of thing. If you were going to learn how to waltz, there's the lead in the dance, the person who has their hands up like this, above the other one. And then there's the one that follows. And that, the follower is the feminine signs. The lead is the masculine signs. They initiate the waltz. The receptive one follows the lead. Do you get what I'm saying? But if you think about from ancient rulers, Scorpio, for example, is known as a feminine sign. It's receptive, obviously, but ruled by Mars in the ancient associations, which is also the planet that rules Aries. So imagine a Scorpio versus an Aries, who is stronger than the other, has nothing to do with the feminine or masculine identities. So again, we have all the fire signs that are the masculine signs. So think about it. We have Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Aries is the alpha anyway. Leo is supposed to be represented by the self, the sun. Pretty self-explanatory. The sun, you know, initiates a lot of things. And then also Sagittarius is supposed to be the Jupiter in a sense. And in a lot of ancient associations, Jupiter was supposed to represent the church. And the church initiated more or less a lot than it probably needed to. And then we look at the air signs, which we have Gemini, which are two people discussing things, brainstorming kind of thing. That's the archetype. Then Libra, that's supposed to be the scales. It's the only inanimate object, but essentially it's supposed to be like a woman holding scales. So it's supposed to be her casting judgment. Then we look at Aquarius, and Aquarius is the dreamer, the inventor, are coming up with the new, bigger, better ideas and how to expand onto something. Then we look at the feminine signs, right? So we have the water signs, which is Cancer, which is essentially associated with the home, which is more of an internal thing, with family, which is more of a private, receptive, emotional, sensitive thing. And it has to do with Mother Earth, the triple moon goddess, and just the associations between offspring or child, and mother, which is, again, an intimate, receptive thing. You see what I'm saying? Then we go look at Scorpio. Scorpio is the epitome of secretive, occult kind of things, that is not being overexposed or extroverted in a way. They are definitely on the down low. Every Scorpio's like that. Everybody is so fascinated with how mysterious Scorpios are, because they are receptive, because they hold back, because they are on another wavelength as far as I'm concerned. And then we look at Pisces. Pisces is supposed to be the Omega, so that's the end. Also is supposed to be the 12th house, which is the house of secrets, elusiveness, and it just assimilation with the divine. And divine's usually associated with like some sort of cosmic female figure. Those are the water signs that are the feminine receptive signs. They're empathic types. They absorb more of their environment. They tend to also be psychic, which would also be something that is very sensitive in absorbing its environment. And then we look at the earth signs. So we have Taurus, which is supposed to be the co-ruler of Venus. Notice that Libra is a masculine sign technically, but it's a co-ruler of Venus with Taurus. So you notice that Venus itself, again, just like Mars, has dual natures to it. Okay? And so Taurus is supposed to be the quote-unquote feminine side of Venus, which is more of the physical aesthetics. Libra, being the mental sign, the masculine sign, is more about the ideology of Venus. So relationships, developing bonds, having connections with people, that kind of thing. Values. Taurus is all about the physical, material bling bling. Is this pretty? Is that pretty? Does my hair look good? Even men who are Taurus suns or Taurus risings or have, substantial Taurus influences in their personal planets are going to be the types that like expensive things or nice, high quality things. Or they're very particular about their physical property. Then we go on to Virgo. Virgo is an earth sign, but also ruled by Mercury. It's also associated with the Virgin Mary. And this is going to sound incredibly sexist to anybody who actually gets offended by this shit. But just thinking about like the order of the signs, if Leo was the king of the house or the, male of the house, the Virgo would be coming in after it and cleaning up all the excess crap that Leo leaves everywhere. And be nitpicking through all of this and nagging them and everything. And that is the archetype of Virgo to a T. I hate to break it to you. So then we look at Capricorn, which is supposed to be, again, it's a cardinal sign, so technically it's supposed to be initiating stuff, but it's essentially the end of the seasons, and it's supposed to represent Saturn, so the Grim Reaper, your mortality, the portal to where souls return, that sort of thing. So it's absorbing lives, it's absorbing souls, it's absorbing the mortality and purpose out of people. So you understand how it's pulling it in, okay? So the masculine signs are exerting energy outward, manifesting as ideas, actions. The feminine signs are pulling inward and gathering that energy or being receptive towards the energy being pushed out by the masculine signs. So again, it goes back to the whole there being feminine parts and male parts to plumbing or whatever else. Hardware pieces and everything. That is what the feminine and masculine concepts are supposed to represent in astrology. People are just so sensitive about this stupid bullshit, and they're very ill-educated, that they think that there's only one kind of definition or one kind of symbolism with a fucking word, okay? So that being said, let me go ahead and just put the icing on the cake here to offend anybody else who may be holding out here. The masculine signs are associated with the top pole of the earth, which is called positive. The feminine signs are the bottom, which are called negative. And do you know why? The actual magnetic pole in the middle of the earth, there's a positive end and a negative end, just like when you try to put magnets together. But you connect a positive and negative end together, and then they connect and build something where they, assimilate together. That is what it means. You need the masculine signs, and you also need the feminine signs in order to make the entire astrological dynamic work. And that's why they're like that. If you take away the masculine and feminine labels, you're going to confuse the fuck out of everyone. And then on top of that, if you ever, have like really old astrology books like this, like super fucking old. I think this is at least over 100 years old. If you start changing and warping all of the vocabulary, and you go get this, or even get some of the PDFs of older astrologers, some of their work, you're not gonna understand a damn word they say. So quit changing shit. Quit trying to change shit. If you want to go change, update the Webster's dictionary for pop culture or wherever else, and that's fine. But if you New Age motherfuckers are gonna try to stick your nose and tell us astrologers, and I can't say us as all astrologers because some of the astrologers are going down that fucking communist Marxist kind of Neptune and Pisces bullshit, and I'm just not going there. If you want to change a bunch of words and stuff and definitions, go elsewhere. Don't impose your shit on me. And I'm sorry, Philip. I'm not channeling constructively with my Virgo Uranus square. But, goddammit, I don't listen. That's it. I'm done ranting.